And I believe I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, August 31st, 2023, 4 o'clock p.m., Canoga Park, California, in what's about to be the previous 2LaneLIVE studios. We're moving to a new joint. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by EagleRider Motorcycle Rentals and Tours. Don't forget to check out 2LaneLIVE.com. Click on the EagleRider tab and see how you can save yourself some coin and have a great trip in the process. Here's G-Man. He's running a little late. That's how we do it sometimes. Anyway, today we have a dude by the name of Just GQ in the house. He's a rider, educator, not only on his YouTube channel, but he educates the youth as a school teacher, and he travels all over the country making rad videos. We actually met him in Milwaukee for the 120th, and we're just going to shoot the shit today, talk bikes, talk life, and talk good times. Anyway, what's up, boys?
Well, so what's up? You just said something that this is like one of our last. Is it two more in here, or is this the last time we'll be in this studio?
Well, you're gone. I'm gone next week.
So no live next week.
I'll do it just live by myself. Just talk to myself in a room.
We could do a live maybe when we get back.
Yeah. So one more maybe.
Yeah, probably one or two more in here.
Well, I don't know if you've been watching, but the Sturgis day 2 or drop 2 was yesterday, and it was really fun. Check it out. Good food, good ride, good friends, good times. We always love going to Sturgis, man.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good feedback and comments in both of the drops, and I think it's an annual. The Thrashing drops and the 2LaneLIVE drops, and they get a lot of watch time. It's really kind of cool to see, and we appreciate the positive comments as well.
They get a lot of love, but we ride a lot of miles. We go to the really cool places around this country and out of the country. Great times, but for some reason, every year I'm always excited to go to Sturgis. I just love the get in the house and hanging out, and just it's almost
Sturgis, it's like Christmas. It's that one time a year. It feels like a holiday. We kind of let loose on that compared to working on trips, filming, capturing, which just kind of have a good time,
Well, I think it's because for us, it's the journey getting there.
Yeah.
We take 3 or 4 days to get there. It's a great group of guys. There's never fighting. There's never issues. And then once we get to the house, the camaraderie there at the house is great. I love having the barbecues there. This year, unfortunately, it rained so much. We only got to cook one night at the house there. But Tracy was telling me that patio is a great place to sit out.
Oh, yeah.
And cook and see all the wildlife that comes through. So we'll be there next year and check that stuff out.
Think about this. We put out a special video on our ride home on the CVOs, but during the Sturgis videos we drop, Gail and I are ripping around on the brand new CVOs, and man, we had so much fun, and we showcase it. We talk about it. So there's a couple of videos. If you go back, look at our channel, they're there. They're badass. We're having fun. Love the new bike.
They even said they'd buy me one. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we probably shouldn't waste much more time. We should.
No, and so kind of cool. About a year and a half ago, a gentleman hit me up from Florida, Trey, and wanted to talk a little bit about Sturgis, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But then just the other day, a week or so ago, he's like, "Hey, I have a buddy, GQ. You should check him out." And lo and behold, I looked up his stuff, and I'm like, "Hey, we met him in Wisconsin at the 120th," and so reached out to him, and he was absolutely happy to do the show, and we're happy to have him. So let's pull him in.
And there he is.
Hey, GQ.
What's up?
How's it going?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm amazing.
That's awesome. So where are you right now? What state are you in? You might have just said it.
No,
I am in New Orleans, Louisiana.
And did you have any impact with the hurricanes down that direction or no?
Crossing fingers, not yet.
Good.
We tend to get it's hurricane season for us right now, but we haven't had anything close so far.
Good.
That's good to hear. I saw some surging in, I think it was Florida, just looked gnarly, like 10 feet deep.
Yeah, Florida's getting jacked up.
Just getting pounded.
So you're sitting here with us we're motorcycle people. You're a motorcycle guy. It looked like you do some heavy rides, and you got a lot of guys that you ride with. What's the story with that?
Man, where do I start? I just have a passion for just getting out. Much like you guys riding across the country, seeing different things. I actually watch a lot of you guys' stuff and get a little bit of inspiration, for my future rides, especially Alberta and I think you did like a northeast run. It was like up in that area,
Maine and all that. Yep.
Yeah, when the leaves were kind of falling and changing and things like that. So you guys definitely are an inspiration to me. But I think for me, it was that first cross country trip for me that kind of like shifted my whole perspective of what riding is for me.
Yeah.
I've gotten bit by the bug, and I can't let it loose.
Right. So when did you start riding, or how long have you been riding?
I've been riding since 2007, but of course, I started on sport bikes. I'm a baby in the Harley game. In my opinion, been riding Harleys for about 4.5, 5 years.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm also a baby.
Well, Josh had sport bikes as well. Like we made him graduate to I think you've been with us 3.5. We're 3.5 years old, and he's owned 4 different Harleys. One he had to, or 5.
Well, only because one was stolen, but yeah. And it's a different ball game. Obviously, it's fun starting on the sport bikes. They're light, they're fast, and then the Harleys started getting lighter and getting faster. But yeah, once you try a big V twin, it's kind of hard to get away from that. It's a great ride. Once you see the country, it's kind of hard to get away from that.
Yep.
Once you ditch going triple digits on the freeway all the time, it's easy to go away from that. So it's good. It's a different pace. To
your point about what you said got you into it after your first cross country ride. I mean, for me, and I think these guys feel kind of the same way. It's coast to coast. You go in these small towns, you meet these people, and it's like the whole time we've been doing this, I don't care what's going on TV or the news. All the people in this country are really wonderful. There's great people everywhere. We've met so many cool people. And for me, that's my passion, to keep hitting the road and going to these new towns and making friends and being able to go back and they remember you. And it's like, now you're building this big family.
Totally agree. I've met so many people who have become like family to me, just riding across country, and then they happen to come my way, and then we link up, and it's like your long lost brother, uncle, dad, sister, cousin. It just keeps getting reciprocated back and forth, and it's just this ball of energy that kind of never ceases to stop.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, think about it. Just in talking with Trey, then Trey makes an introduction. We also saw him.
Right.
I mean, and there's not a ton of motorcycle riders out there per se. So it's like this whole community just kind of travels around. We see people at the 120th, and we'll see them at Sturgis, and then people come by the shop here, and which, by the way, we are looking to move in around September 15th. We're going to have a grand opening. Sorry to digress for a minute, but it's coming together over there.
Oh yeah.
I'm super excited. We're a little bit egotistical because we've got our big pictures out there on the front wall, but if we're not there, you can come take a picture with us. Right.
Right. But yeah. So, I mean, putting all that together, and then seeing the common, things that we all talk about, and guys will just stand around motorcycles and look at them, and it's just right.
Do you have a club as well?
Yes, I ride with Rare Breed Motorcycle Club. We are all Harley based club, and we love to put in long miles.
And there's a lot of, how many are you? How many guys are in the club? It seemed like on one of your videos I saw, there was a lot of guys riding.
Too many to count.
That's good.
You had a pack after Sturgis, or wait, you rode from the 120th, you rode it to Sturgis, right?
Yeah.
And there was a pack of you guys with that group, right?
It was 4 of us that left Milwaukee to go to Sturgis. But that was just a combination of I had a club brother with me. I had another friend from a different area, and one of my homegirls from down south as well made the trip.
So before we go a little bit further, tell them how they can find you, what your Instagram, what your YouTube, and we'll do this a couple times throughout the show.
Gotcha. You guys can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and pretty much all your social media platforms at Just GQ. I am GQ. I'm not just GQ. A lot of people say, "Hey, it's just GQ." It's just like, nah, I'm just GQ. So I have to make that delineation. But YouTube, Instagram, that's where I'm most active. I do a lot of lives on Instagram, so I like to talk with a lot of my on IG, and all of my travels for the most part reside on YouTube.
Well, we got a lot of feedback with that post yesterday, the day before, people saying, I can't wait to see this one. So you better not disappoint, man. So what's your bike of choice right now? People don't know.
Ooh, my bike of choice. Pretty much everyone who knows me knows I'm a road glide man. I will forever ride a road glide until I cannot ride a road glide for whatever reasons that may be. I actually just was blessed with another road glide. I flew out to Phoenix and rode it back from Phoenix to New Orleans this past weekend. So yeah, road glides or no glides.
So that's my jam right there, road glide.
Yeah, we're road glide guys. So are you putting parts on the bike? What do you build the bike at all? What's your go-to?
Over time, I like to make it just highway ready for myself. Whether it's the bar setup, seat, pegs, of course, luggage and things like that. But I don't do too much custom building per se of motorcycles. It's just more so just getting it set up to take these long rides. I think I customize it more so to film. I guess that would be the majority of my customizing, just making sure I have everything from my cameras and GoPros set up. So that's as far as customization goes.
Gotcha. So just like bars and seats, you don't build the engine or anything.
Nah. I'll send it off to somebody else.
Yeah. So what did you picked up? What, a 2023 or 2022, or what did you end up getting?
I wound up getting a 21 limited.
Okay.
And it has I don't want to say too much because I want to leave it for, I haven't revealed it yet on YouTube, but just know it's sick. Just know that.
Oh, we can't wait to see it.
We'll wait to see that one. So, I talked to you the other day. We talked just a few minutes before the show. And we'll get back into the motorcycle talk, but let's maybe dig in a little bit to your personal life. Like, what's your day job and how long you've been doing it? What's your passion around it? Give us a sense of kind of who GQ is. So
GQ is first and foremost, a very passionate person. I am passionate about anything that I do. I'm pretty much super passionate about. I am an educator by trade. I've been teaching for going on 13 years.
Wow.
And I absolutely love it. I've been adopted by many students over the years, and I've become the godparents to many kids, and I just love it. Just to be able to impart some type of wisdom and knowledge into the youth, it just does something to me. And especially as they become older and they come back and they see me, or they run into me in a gas station or a store and say, "Hey, I remember when you said this was so true. Thank you for this. Thank you for that." It just, it makes it all worthwhile.
100%.
Yeah, man. It's very fulfilling. Very fulfilling.
That is awesome. I love that. I always used to say, If you go somewhere and you learn one thing, you learn something.
Yep.
I love that.
There
It's simple. These guys aren't simple enough to understand what I just said.
Okay.
But it's got a deep, really deep meaning.
Yeah, that's really deep.
Yeah.
We were talking about it the other day. I mean, we don't get very political on the show very much, but I mean, teachers, you think about people that you remember in your lifetime, and like you said, you've been adopted by so many kids. You know, it's not often that you can remember a bunch of names, but you always remember like your first grade teacher, your high school. A teacher is in one of the memory banks that you have, 1 or 2 or 10 teachers, you know, and it's just because the influence that you have over these kids, and there's good teachers and there's bad teachers, but in general, I mean, you guys, you're putting on the line every day to help educate these kids. And I wish in this country we paid teachers more so that we could keep good teachers employed and keep them in the classroom, because it's getting, you know, more difficult even as we speak. Yep. I mean, this whole thing that we went through in 2020, I mean, that was a teacher's worst nightmare, trying to teach through a computer screen.
Whew. We're over it now, but
yeah.
It took so long to kind of, you know, shake back from, you know, getting up, trying to get a bunch of kids focused on the screen. And in some instances, like depending on the content that you teach or you taught, it's not really feasible to be able to teach it through a computer for whatever different challenges it may be. Let's just say you were an art instructor or a music instructor. Some kids may not have canvases and palettes or musical instruments at their homes to practice with you through a virtual setting, you know. So there's a lot of unseen challenges with that, but I'm glad we are past it. And I think we're more prepared for it this time or next time, if there is a next time, than we were before, because it was a lot. But shout out to all the teachers out there who made it happen, who you know, got up with the slippers and their coffee mugs and sat in front of the computer screen for long hours at a time. And screen fatigue is a very real thing. So just sit. If you've ever been on a Zoom call or a meeting with someone over Zoom, it starts getting 40 minutes in, 50 minutes in, you're like, whew.
Right.
You start to get worn out. And I can just imagine for the students how it would be for them as well.
Well, Josh knows all about that here.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people on here saying that they want to adopt you from all these different states. I'm digging that.
And
so you go ahead.
I was just going to say right here, looking through your channel, I saw you put out a video based on risking it all, more than likely your career, about going to the 120th. So this guy, Roderick, says, was there any fallout from going to the 120th after starting your new job? Maybe fill people in on that.
Okay, so just a little bit of backstory. So I left one school and I was going to another school. And I've already had the ride planned because I planned on staying at the previous school. And so I had it all set up, ready to go. And when I transitioned to my new job and my new position, I said, well, hey, I'm going to have to take 2 weeks off because I've had this ride already planned. And in education, usually during the summertime, you do professional development. So all of the teachers come back for a session and they go over different things, teaching pedagogies, just expectations, stuff like that. And to miss 2 weeks of that was very risky. But fortunately, being a veteran teacher, I had a lot of rapport with the staff and administration there, so it wasn't too bad. You know, they let me go.
What?
Thanks, Yogurt. They let you go.
Yeah, they let me go. No, they didn't let me go. Like
they let you go on the ride.
They let me go.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
But honestly, they were super. Once they found out, like my YouTube thing. You know, they were super supportive of it because any kind of way that they can leverage the things that we do that's positive in the classroom is always a plus, and they want to highlight that as well. So they're super, once they found out, they were like super supportive of it.
I got to think they would love the motorcycle aspect coming into the classroom. Seriously.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
love that stuff.
pull up to the school and just, you know, big motor and everybody like, oh, hey, mister, you know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I don't imagine many teachers come pulling up into the school on a Harley like that.
Not at all.
So before we go on, I've got Yogurt and SoCal Squatcher talking about how white my legs are and how he's got screen fatigue. Like Yogurt.
Oh,
Whoa.
So this we love you, Yogurt, and come by. You haven't been by here forever, jerk. So is this the point where in this new job you are working with special needs, or have you been doing that for a few years, or kind of lead up to what happened there and why you chose that group of people?
So actually, I do not work with special needs. It's just a passion of mine because I have 2 special needs children. And so I've always become, but I've become an advocate for special needs kids and making sure that their rights and needs are fulfilled. So that's something that I carry with me. It's something that is definitely a talking point when I'm meeting people and different riders and things like that on the road, because it's a community that does not get enough spotlight on it, in my opinion. So yeah, that's
well. Let's shine some light on it. Tell us a little bit about that passion and what's going on and your kids, and are there places where people can donate, or are there rides that you're doing? Is there anything we can help with at some point? So
I'm trying to put together currently in a ride for autism. I mean, you can donate to autismspeaks.org, but I want to put on a long ride, a relay ride for autism, just to raise money, because what a lot of people don't understand is it's a wide spectrum, and there's various varying costs in that spectrum. You may have a high functioning child on a spectrum, or you can have a very, 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 very low functioning child on a spectrum that may require someone to be their caregiver pretty much on a daily basis. My child, my son, he is one of those children who needs a one-to-one. So he has someone that walks around with him throughout the day at school, make sure that he has his needs and things met. So, but everyone is not afforded that same opportunity. There are parents who cannot afford to get their children in special schools to kind of help them with the transition and to help them to grow into a more independent person. And so I just want to be able to help those families in any way possible.
Well, as you build this stuff out, if there's anything we can do to help you with that, we'll be happy to jump on that bandwagon.
I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a tough deal. I have some family members that go through the same issues, and it's taxing, and it's at the same time, I think my wife would always say, well, God blessed you with those children, and you as parents are the ones to get, because you can handle it, and not, but you're right, not every parent can handle it.
It's very mentally taxing.
Yeah.
It could be something just as simple as a child being able to go and use the restroom on his own, or being able to play and interact with certain kids because they may be socially awkward in some instances. And the fact that not all people are abreast of, like, autism has no look. You would say, oh, he looks normal, but he is either, low functioning or high functioning, but he does have some form of autism, and he could be on the spectrum. So just making people more aware and more conscious and accepting of children with autism.
We love that.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what happens. Like you say, you're out on the ride and all of a sudden you start talking a little bit about it. We didn't know that about yourself and your child. And to hear that, we're blessed to have you share that with us. And I'm sure it's tough at times, but I know with your positive attitude and your passion for him,
Yep.
you know, how old is he?
He's 6.
Okay.
So, and that's why we came up with the Shaking Hands with America, because when you're out there meeting people, I mean, if we didn't hit the road, we wouldn't have met you, who is now sharing this story. So that's this whole, how this thing just blossoms.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we have people here. This is why we do it live, is because doing it live. Sorry, but we do it live because we love having this community that watches and the comments that they make and their friends. I mean, Ralph and Shannon are bugging me still, and it's fine. But to see the comments that come on, and all of a sudden people start commenting about the subject, and I just saw one. I would do anything to help.
A lot of people are saying they want to go on the ride.
Yeah, and so it's that's what this is all about. We do them live because we can get the interaction. Then they will live on through Spotify or Apple or what have you, and so there's going to be more people continuing to hear this, and we often say if what did you say about learning? If you learn one thing,
if you learn one thing, you took something home with you. You know, you expanded your horizons. And I'm seeing people on here too that are coming out and saying, "Hey, my child has autism," or "My grandson," and I've seen a few. So it's making people open up, and everyone's going to learn something.
Missed you yesterday too, Bruce. We'll get together soon. So, okay, well, so what grade are you teaching then? And what's your?
So I am currently teaching 11th and 12th graders.
Oh,
I've taught as young as 6th grade. And I don't think
Not doing that.
I don't think I can go back to 6th grade, but the 11th and 12th grade, well, 10th through 12th is a very special group to me because they're entering young adulthood, and some of them are looking for some type of like concrete direction, like they need a compass. And if I can just help just point them in one way or another way, just to give them a push, not necessarily tell them what to do and how to do it, but just to give them like, hey, you might want to think about looking this way or look that way, and just give them some perspective on life and what is life outside of high school. I think that's key because a lot of students, especially nowadays, they live on social media. They live in this bubble of the internet, and it's hard to really pull them from it and get them acclimated to the real world in a way that is productive and meaningful for them. And so I try to just implement real world scenarios when I'm talking with them, and then using my personal experiences to help, like I said, give them that compass and that push to give them some type of direction.
So here you are, you're their teacher. You got the cool vibe going. You're on social media yourself. So when you talk to them and you're teaching them about this stuff and trying to show them the other side of not being on it, they know that you are on it and you're doing like cool stuff. So I'm sure that all your students really have a respect for you.
Yeah.
And you're not getting messed with by your class.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm well and highly respected. And I think it's also cool because it's one thing when you just talk at a kid, but when I'm talking with a kid, and then being able to use, like I said, my personal experience, like, hey, I do social media, but I do it in this kind of way. This is how you can use it to be productive. This is how you can use it to enhance your life. This is how you can use it to become an entrepreneur. This is how you can use it in whatever manner way that you deem fit for yourself, that will increase your quality of life as a person, as a human being.
Well, that's again back to the earlier point. I mean, I don't think you guys make enough money, and the influence and impact you have over children is immensely huge. And they're not children at that age; they're young adults. And if you can help inspire, them to get into either the next level of education for themselves, or inspire them to work hard at a job that they take on.
Yep.
That's a lost art today. We talk about this a lot on the show. Like, there's a bunch of young kids over at his son's company, Thrash and Supply. Almost all of them are really hard workers.
Yeah.
We're hiring someone here shortly. Josh is a young guy, graduated college 3 years ago and has been with us ever since. Hard worker, and it's hard to find out there, and it's hard to find, blue collar working environment as well. So Godspeed and God bless you for taking them under your wing.
Yeah, and the real bummer is, I don't care if you're a doctor, firefighter, police, teacher, just any day you work for UPS or whatever, humans are humans, and there's going to be great people in every field, and there's going to be bad people in every field.
Yeah. And
we need the people like you that can bring some positive influence and energy. We need a lot of that. And I feel that we were here, our whole thing when we started riding was, we're going to go out and we're going to inspire people to get out on the open road, make friends to people, and do good stuff in the community. We've gotten so much inspiration from all of you out there. I mean, big time, that it makes us, you've all inspired us to go farther and even do better than we're doing. And I love that.
Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree.
Take your money.
And yeah.
I'm kidding. But yeah, so talk a little bit about maybe, you've been riding on the Harley for the last little while. What's one of your favorite road trips that you've done? We often get asked that, and it's hard for us to decide which one, but you mentioned Canada. That was insane for us. It's probably one of the best rides we've done in a while. We've done great rides all over this place, but that was one to behold. We talked a little bit about that. We'll give you where we went so you guys can at some point get that summer vacation and go for a few weeks. You know what I mean? But what's one of your favorite, what are your top 2 or 3 rides?
Well, in theory, any ride that I can go somewhere where I've never been with a group of friends would be like my favorite ride.
Yeah.
It's memories. So, that's just the overarching ideology. But if I had to just nail them down, it would be the very first time I rode to California. For all of these rides I'm going to name is going to be for specific reasons. And so riding to California, my mother had just passed, and the people who've been following me and keeping up with me, they know that I named my bikes after my mom and things like that. And I'm always shouting her out in my videos and things like that, because she was very influential. And for the people who do not know, she wasn't actually the lady who gave birth to me. She took me in as a 9-month-old infant, and she was much older lady, much older. And I didn't have everything I wanted. I didn't have the latest and the greatest, but as I became older, I realized I had everything that I needed. Mm-hmm. And so as I became an adult, I wanted to, I was scrambling, trying to just repair it in any way possible. It was, taking her to church. We go to church together, or, take her to our favorite restaurant. And before I felt like I could really repay her, even though I could never really repay her, she passed away, unfortunately. And I would always tell her about going to California. That was one of my dream rides. Remember, I'm a baby in, riding Harleys and riding across country. And so that was one of my bucket list rides at the time. And so when I made it to the California state sign, I just broke down, and I was just, crying, crocodile tears, just, talking out loud, saying, "Mom, I made it. I told you I was going to do it. I told you I was going to do it," because this was something that I always talked to her about. And she would say, "Boy, you're crazy. You're going way out there with a motorcycle. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to do that. I promise you I'm going to do it. And when I did it, those wave of emotions just kind of came over me, and I just lost it. So that was probably the most important ride for me so far.
So that's really, I don't think that's a ride. That's a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You rode there, but we had that with Aaron Baker, a recovering quadriplegic. I mean, it wasn't a ride. It became a spiritual journey to watch this man navigate with his challenges that he has, you know?
Yeah. And so that one, and that was the ride that also sparked the bug for me to just, you know, getting out and just seeing more and doing more, because, you know, just losing her unexpectedly as well, it kind of, you know, triggered something inside of me. Like, life is really short. We're only on this earth for just a finite amount of time. And so we should be able to do as much as we want to do and see as much as we want to see and explore as much as we want to explore, because at any given time, it can be taken away from us. We may not have the ability to do so. And so I'm very, you know, passionate about just getting out, not just getting out, just getting out and seeing something new and experiencing something new. And so my second ride would be the ride to Canada. It was my longest solo ride, you know, by myself. And that was just, you know, hey, I want to do it. I typically take the summers to plan a big ride for myself. And I got up and just kept going. I didn't even have the money to really take the ride, but I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And, you know, I didn't even ask anybody for any assistance and things like that, but people were just like sending Cash App and, you know, just, you know, contributing to the ride once they saw I was out there and this was something that I was really serious about. And I made it to Canada. Once again, had another emotional breakdown, speaking to my mom, because I always carry her with me. I always carry her in spirit. I carry a t-shirt with a picture on. Either I'm wearing it or it's in my saddlebag, just to let her know, like, just to show her, like, hey, this is where we are now. This is what we're doing now. And that was probably the ride where at that point it triggered, hey, keep going to do things and see things so you can bring it back to others to encourage them and inspire them to get out and just see more. And I want to say probably the next one outside of I would say the next one will probably be my the Sturgis ride that I just came back from. It was just, I've never been that far northwest, and it was just amazing, you know, from someone who is born in New Orleans, lived in New Orleans his whole life. Of course, I went away to college and came back, but everything has been bricks. Everything has been, you know, just urban. And to get out and just look off into a valley and see just nothing but trees, or just see wild horses just, you know, just galloping, or seeing bison just, you know, chilling, eating grass and stuff like that, man, it did something to me. So that was amazing to me.
It'll bite you, won't it?
It sounds like you had a great mother to raise you, and that,
yeah, for sure,
that's part of your structure and why you are who you are now, with your experiences that created that. But, you know, we go on rides, and a lot of the rides we go on, we say, wow, this is the best trip we've ever been on. But we stopped each other and said, you know what? We kind of say that on every trip. So I guess trips just get awesome. I like to do the same route a few times, because to me, it's like a good movie. You watch it a few times and it changes. Mm-hmm. So when you go on different routes, you find different things that you didn't see before. So wherever your ride's always going to be great.
Well, like in our drop this week, you know, we're at Forrest Gump Point,
right?
And we've been there at least 20 times, 15, 20 times, right? And it's never looked the same.
It's always awesome,
always different. And this time we had half of the valley was covered in a dark storm, and you could see the rain coming down, and the other half was sunny, and it was just a completely different view than we've ever seen.
We've seen every situation.
I mean, it's crazy. But
you know, it'd be cool We should one day, because you always say we got to go to, is it Nolans?
Nolans.
We got to go there and see the place. We got to roll up to his class. We'll bring a bunch of stickers and goodies.
Yeah.
And we can be the show and tell.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Show and tell in 12th grade.
But if it's cool show and tell, why not?
So let's talk a little bit about the Sturgis thing too, because you know, we go again, not being political, but this whole stuff that goes on in the news and the crap we see, and that we're in this day and age, and we have to put up with stuff. And we were talking about this the other day. I mean, your video that you put out, you know, going to Sturgis, should I go? And this is how Trey and I met. He was following the channel and called and said, I know you guys go to Sturgis a lot, and we have some guys that we're putting together a ride with, and you know, there's not a lot of content around Sturgis that has, you know, an African American appeal to it. There's just not. And so he said he has, you know, some friends that are concerned, and it's like, no, you need to go. You're going to love it. You're going to be just fine. You've got our phone number. Here's the address. If any issues come up, you just come to the house. We're good. But you're not going to have any, and you're going to have a great time. And lo and behold, they showed up. We were at the Harley tent. We met them, him and a buddy. Big hugs for everyone. They served our country as well. And lo and behold, we become friends in that moment, right? Yeah. But I was just completely blown away that I had to field a phone call like that, because I don't see that. I don't hear it. I don't feel it. You put your video out. It's doing extremely well. Same thing for you, right? It's like there's not a lot of content. So should I be going with my buddies? Right. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think for you know, some riders, I think it's a little bit inherited discomfort. And that's just something that has just kind of just like passed down, just like, you know, over the years. You know, you just hear stories and stories and stories. And, you know, of course, you know, we may have not been there, but, you know, things just get passed down. And so it's kind of like this for the ones who haven't gone yet. It's like, I don't know, like, should we go? Is it cool to go? Because once, like you said, there isn't a lot of, you know, content or, you know, things out there that's saying, you know, hey, it's cool, it's okay. And so a lot of people cheat themselves out of great experiences because of that inherited discomfort. But for me, being a person who is adventurous, being a person who wants to find out and see for himself, I took the ride, and I mean, I had a great time. Of course, I was there. I left right as, you know, the big wave came, but there were tons of people there. There still were vendors there, and I had a blast. And I just wanted to put something out there to let people know, if anything, if you didn't get anything from the video, it's to go out and see things for yourself. Go out.
You won't know.
You won't know until you go, or until you have your own personal experience and you can form your own opinion from that. So that was the crux of the video, is just to, no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone may say, just go and find out. Take the time, see for yourself, make your own opinion that's based on fact, not just hearsay.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. You're a motorcycle enthusiast. You ride bikes. You've been riding for a long time, whether it's Harley or not, who cares? At the same time, people have to see this shit show. I mean, this thing is crazy with all these bikes, and you know, there are definitely issues that happen. There's fights that happen. There's all sorts. When you have that many people that are so drunk at some point, the reality is to just go see this, even if it's once. Mm-hmm. As a motorcycle rider, to see the size and the breadth of this rally, it's just insane.
Well, I've been going to Sturgis. We've 8 years of Sturgis. I've never seen anything, but I tell you what, I was at one on Brady Street, and I saw more fighting and carnage than I ever saw in Sturgis.
Right, for sure. But the point being, there's, you know, Trey had to call. There's not a lot of content, but I think you guys, your crew, you guys had a great time. And you turned it into another adventure even past that, right? You were 120th to Sturgis.
Yep.
So you had a whole adventure going on there and no issues. And it was a good time. And everyone got home safe and thumbs up. Let's find the next one, right?
Yep. Let's find the next one.
Well, that's awesome. And I think we need to put that out there for people. Like, you got to go check it out.
If you don't go, you won't know.
You'll never know. We have a T-shirt you can buy too that'll say that.
One thing I like, you talked about seeing the wildlife out on the open road, and you actually said bison, which makes me happy because most people call them buffalo, but they're bison.
I always thought it was bison. So.
They are bison. I mean, we got to change the football team to the Bison Bills.
Bison.
I had to find him some bison. We got to Sturgis we still haven't seen one bison in Sturgis.
Yeah, Custer.
No.
Yeah, we did that one last couple years ago. We finally found her. Yeah.
No, we had to find him in Yellowstone.
Maybe.
And then I found you some caged ones outside of Zion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the quest for the bison's on. Now we're on a quest for apple pie. I don't know, like what the hell we're doing here.
Got to find apple pie, man.
A la mode, or does it matter?
Either way.
Either way.
It could be for breakfast.
I know there's apples that are raised or cropped or whatever you want to call it in different parts of the country and different countries. Why don't we have apple pie in every store at all times or in every restaurant?
We can go to Julian again and find some apple pie.
Oh, we'll go to Julian. So you're going to come out here. When you ride out here next time, we'll take you down to a little place called Julian and we'll get you some fresh apple pie.
I'm with it.
How about that?
I'm absolutely with it.
And then you get us some beignets and chicory.
Oh, yeah, you got it. You got it.
So we've got, a little bit left here. Let's get into what are your ride plans for 2024? Do you have anything planned at all?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that. 2024 is gonna be epic. Every year I try to do between 1 and 2 really epic rides. I call them epic rides because being a school teacher, I really have to be very intentional with my time and just I do a lot of long hours on the weekends to just shoot up somewhere and then shoot right back to make it back home to go to work. But 2024 I have Alaska lined up. And I have a secret ride that I cannot put out on the internet just yet because it's some pieces that need to come together to actually make it happen. But stay tuned because I promise you, when you see the post, it's gonna blow. It's gonna knock your socks off. But Alaska is the first.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
Can we go international or is it domestic?
Of course, it's international.
Okay.
Of course, it's international.
I had to ask.
I'll tell you one thing. Alaska has been on the list forever. I've ridden some scooters up there, like little mopeds, but it all is open to interpretation. But I think the nature and the wildlife up in Alaska really can't compare to anywhere else.
What time of year are you planning on doing that?
Alaska?
Yeah.
This summer coming, 24.
No, what time of year?
July.
Okay, that's a good time. You'll have 23 hours of daylight.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of research and talking to some people up there, and it's you're gonna feel like you want to sleep, but then you can't sleep because it's just so bright and everything. Everybody's just out, and it's like they don't get tired during that time.
Yeah,
you got to find an Airbnb with a basement, right? And blacked out windows.
Even Canada was
weird. I'm not
weird.
kidding you.
when we were in Canmore visiting Banff on that last Canada trip, it didn't get dark until like 10:30 was when it was completely dark.
Mm-hmm.
So we got in late the first night. We hung out at the house, went and got some dinner, and walked back thinking it's like 7 o'clock. Check your phone, it's 10:15. It's just a trip. You don't get that tired. You wake up early, it's light.
But I'm going to tell you, you're going to be in for a treat. If you
what did I miss? It's going to be a treat.
He's going to Alaska.
Ah, yes.
But the scenery there, the wilderness that you're going to run into, I don't know what you're going to Anchorage or maybe doing something, but then get outside of that a little bit if you can. It's just spectacular. You're going to love it.
Well, that's the plan. As I'm riding more and more and just getting out more and more, it's the nature that really like just does something to me, like internally. I can't explain what it is. It's some type of pull.
We agree. I mean, it's like the smell, the sights, the scenery. We've been doing this together for 10 or 12 years, and we just 3.5 years ago decided to start telling the story about what we're doing, and we'll go to the same place a couple of times, like he said, but you'll never see it the same every time. It's and the weather that you get, and
right,
what weather does to the next day or that day's riding, which is incredible.
Right.
If we didn't have motorcycles, I guarantee you we'd be throwing our legs over horses and we'd be going out and finding that same vibe.
Right.
We like to travel.
I like motorcycles a little better.
Yeah, a little faster.
But yeah, that's incredible. So are you done? So through the end of the year here, we've got like 2 or 3 more rides left in us. We ride every day, but as far as for the channel, we've got content. We still have a couple Canada drops we need to do. We've got some stuff we're doing for EagleRider. We'll get that done. But our bigger rides kind of through the end of the year are less, and we'll get into some stuff next year. Do you have anything towards the end of the year here you're doing?
So anything outside of the big epic rides that I usually do in the summertime are usually like the rallies and things like that. I'll be at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue in a couple of weeks. Might head down to Biketoberfest, Lone Star Rally, things like that. Because I can make it there in a reasonable amount of time, like on the weekends, and I could take a day off from work, like a Friday, and leave Thursday evening and start making some headway in whatever direction I need to go, and make it back on time. So usually just the rallies for the most part are being in the motorcycle club. Some guys have events that they throw, so I'll just get on my bike and go and visit those guys and hang out for a second and come on back home.
I love it.
Definitely cool. Hey, just for a reminder, everyone out there, we have that videos that are going up on the Harley app, and they're really cool little series about how far you can ride in short periods of time, longer periods of time. So check out the Harley app. We're doing some fun content.
HD app, and it's mile crushing series. So you should check that out. We appreciate the support from Harley to do that as well.
I think we have to do a trip with GQ somewhere.
We're going to have to figure it out.
And just do something really cool, shake hands with America, find some cool destinations, and make a fun trip out of it.
I'm with it.
I bet Harley would back that trip.
So what's your best time for travel? Is it then during the summer? What's kind of the school year for you?
Usually toward the end of April, and then like pretty much up until like right about now is like the big window for me.
Okay.
To take like really, really long rides. But we have breaks throughout the school year, Thanksgiving break, and we have fall break and spring break, and we have a bunch of breaks built in. So I'm able to move around a little bit more. But as far as like really long multi day trips, It's typically the end of April up until right about now, early August, late August.
Well, maybe we can do a thing where we all fly into a place that's close, and we all jump on EagleRider bikes and do a weekend blast.
Yeah, we could hook that up.
We can do that. I'm with it.
So we usually start planning in November for our 2024 season, or for our next year's season, I should say. So we'll make sure we stay in touch with that. It's been great having you on the show, and you're a friend forever now, and we're brothers, and we love what you're doing, and keep that positive message out there. Both we looked at your channel, it's positive. Everything is great. But also with the kids, keep that faith, keep that running and going. We appreciate meeting people like you that have the same energy and the same passion, not only for just motorcycles, but for life.
Exactly.
And I think if we all looked at things a little differently, it'd be kind of like that. Find people that are around you and surround yourself with those people that have the energy that is, there's no color related. There's nothing other than just, we're friends.
Well, the cool thing about that is we find that on the daily.
Every day.
Yeah.
So, and it was fun running into you in Milwaukee. And I want to thank Trey. I'm going to give him a little shout out again for.
Wait a second. That's coming. Wait, were we walking across the bridge?
Yeah.
And then he was walking by and stopped and turned around.
Yeah, he was vlogging.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get on that vlog?
And he had his hat on, and I'm like, who are you? And he's like, GQ. And I'm like, and Teresa's like, it's on his hat, you dork.
So the 2LaneLIVEs met him.
Yeah.
So like he said, we plan stuff, but our plans end up being no plans that always end up becoming the greatest plan.
Yeah.
We know where we're going, and we might plan the first night. After that, it's game on. Who knows where we're going to be, but that's part of the adventure.
The beauty of it. That is definitely the beauty of it.
Yep.
Well, I think we're onto something here. We need to plan a little gig together.
I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. And I wanted to just mention something. So you mentioned my hat. So this is my thing. For people who don't know, it's called the Peace Army. You can go visit peacearmyworldwide.com. And what the Peace Army stands for, my slogan or my saying is, you just engage and meet everybody with peace, love, and joy. And when we're riding these motorcycles, just like shaking hands with America, you want to just provide a sense of peace with these people. You want to break bread with these people. You want to love these people. You want to, no matter who they are, where they come from, you want to have that love with them or show them that kind of love. And then the joy aspect of it. We're doing something that we all love, which is riding across the country on these two wheels, these motorcycles, and then, spreading that joy with the people that we do meet. So the Peace Army stands for peace, love, and joy. And anybody is a part of the Peace Army if they are down with those core tenets of it. So I just wanted to shout that out real quick.
Well, we better get some Peace Army T-shirts or hats or something.
I got you.
And we'll give you some back. But I love that. I love that idea and the idea of that. It's we need that more in this world. And I think we all agree to that.
So behind you, it's small on our screen to see there, but is that the iconic Muhammad Ali photo?
It is. It is. Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know I'm an artist as well. But I did that.
So you did that.
You did that.
Yeah, I did like 15, not 15, about 10 years ago.
Awesome. Very good.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that and respect it, because I was a sign painter and hand lettering artist my whole life too.
Nice.
So
nice.
It caught my eye back there.
That's awesome.
Before we sign off, let's do one more. So where do they find you? How do they find you? What's the whole social?
Cool. So once again, you guys can follow me at JustGQ on all your social media platforms. That's YouTube, that's Instagram, TikTok. I have a Twitter, barely use it, but if you want to just follow me there, you can follow me there as well. I'm very active on Instagram. I go live every morning. You can go ahead and check out www.peacearmyworldwide.com. The site is constantly being updated. And we just out here trying to spread peace, love, and joy to everybody, man.
Well, we love it. Peace to you. Love you, brother. And let's set up a ride. So we're going to sign up for a second, but stay with us for a minute.
No doubt.
We're going to jump you out, and then we'll be right back to you.
Cool.
Boom.
Well,
that was cool.
What a great guy, man. It's funny. We talk about this all the time with the community. It's like you just, and then hear the stories with it.
When you have that passion for riding, it changes the whole world.
Yeah.
You know, and together, and just that's why we ride, I guess, because we're just into that stuff. You know, riding motorcycles in the open country.
Well,
Nothing
again,
better.
Go check out the drop this week. Go check out drops from last week and the week before. We do have a couple Canadian drops that we'll be doing here, the Canada tour. After we finish our Sturgis stuff,
we got to get that Sturgis stuff.
Different things going. The store is moving. We invite everyone to come over. You know, we're going to be located. What's the address? 9027 Canoga Avenue.
Unit I.
And real
big
quick,
showroom. Go to our website, 2LaneLIFE.com. We got everything you need. Yes. We work hard. We play hard. We love it.
We had a couple people ask, is September 15th, October 15th?
September 15th.
September 15th, is that the concrete day for the opening party? I told them no, we don't have a date yet.
Grand opening's probably the first Saturday of October.
Okay, so you guys stay tuned.
We'll get that announced.
We'll put it on email blast at 2LaneLIFE.com. We'll put it on Instagram, YouTube. That's probably about it, but yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing what 3 years has brought.
Oh, yeah.
And we appreciate all the folks that have supported us throughout the 3 years. Those that started with us, those that are new to us. I mean, it helps us with our travel, and we actually get to pay 2Lane J.
Yeah, and I'm glad back in 1906 or 1903, Harley-Davidson was born.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for those motorcycles, we wouldn't be riding.
No way.
I might not be riding
something.
I said I was never going to ride.
I've been riding since I'm 5 years old. I'd be riding something.
Well, I think I like the rumble and the feel.
Yeah, I love Harley.
You know,
I mean, we're Harley guys.
Yeah, anyway. But hey, what a great show. Thank you all for watching.
And don't forget to check out 2LaneLIFE.com for parts and t-shirts and socks and suspension and just stuff and blogs. We put a lot of energy into writing blogs so you know where to eat and know where to stay and know what videos to watch. And yeah.
We're a storytelling history channel.
Whoa, what?
And you put the EagleRider right back up.
And don't forget to check out the EagleRider tab on 2LaneLIFE.com so you can take a trip, save some money, see how you can do both at the same time. I don't know. I'm kind of tired.
They're going to get a couple credits, and they're
you can say get credits. You know, yada yada. EagleRider Club.
And with that, because of this show, when we sign out, I guess it's not going to be see you down the road today. It's going to be peace,
Army. Yes, sir.
Peace, Army.
Peace.
Yeah, baby. Let's do this.
See ya.